Hello there, people. I have this is my second take of the video because I was pretty uncoordinated the first time. But essentially, I'm gonna make a webtoon. My webtoon is going to be a choose your own adventure story. Put it on the screen now. Put the first story's timeline. So as you can see, there's gonna be so many different timelines, different things that you can do, and the story completely depends on your choices. None of that telltale, thing where you make a choice and it comes out with the same outcome. Each outcome will be drastically different. If you choose to go left, if you choose to go right, it will be drastically different, and there are death options. This story goes volume by volume. So I will release 10 chapters, and those chapters will have parts in them. So we'll have chapter 1, part 1, part 2, part 3, part 5, depending on how much I need to get done in the chapter. But it will at least have one part. So we're going by chapter, and there's going to be 10 chapters per volume. We're going volume by volume. So once the first volume is released, I would already have the second volume ready, and I would be working on the third volume, but the second one would already be ready. At least that's what I hope to happen. But the only way I can get that to happen is for you guys to support me, leave a follow, join the Discord, especially join the Discord. If you haven't seen the previous video, please go and watch it. But essentially, in this video, I want to give you guys a reason to actually support me. Because there's no reason. It's all free, by the way. It's a webtoon. It's all gonna be free. You won't have to go to any Patreons unless you want extra support or extra benefits like commission discounts and stuff like that. And talking to me a lot more. I don't know why. Tutorials on drawing and stuff. Honestly, the Patreon isn't even ready. I just want to let you guys know, all free. It's all free. Every idea that I will have under the sun is gonna be all free. You won't have to pay a dime. There is no Kickstarter. There is no Kickstarter. It's also a webtoon which has music. So I will have little QR codes in certain areas of the story, and then you can scan them and listen to the music in the background of the video. So I'm trying to get this all out real quick. But you can listen to the music. There will be 20 songs in per chapter. That's 20 times 10. That's 200 songs per volume. And there's 16 volumes. Now you might be wondering, oh Miguel, are you gonna bleep my name out? I accidentally said my name. Oh, Migoverse, are you going to be having a bunch of different stories then? The answer is no. We will not. Wait, no, that's not what I meant to say. Will you be having a lot of different artists to help you with this? Will you have artists to help you? The answer is no. This is going to be completely independent, which is just more reason why I need your support if you want to see this happen. Now, another reason why you might want to see this happen is the actual story. Because each one's going to have a story. It's a choose your own story. It's going to span multiple volumes, more than 6. I have more than 6 volumes planned for each of these, I want to say series? What do you call that? Series, right? There's going to be more than 6 volumes per series. And that might sound like a lot of work. Eventually, I'll have help. But right now, I don't have the money for it. And I really don't want you guys to pay. All I need is you guys to follow the Discord. The way I will be getting paid is through ad revenue on webtoons. And, the money you get per, listening to my music on both. It's going to be on Spotify. And it's going to be on YouTube Music. That's how I'll be getting paid. So you guys don't even have to, drop anything. Not even a penny. Just, watch the content, which I hope that you guys will like. I will get my support from them. If you want to help me, that's amazing. But it's not necessary. All I need is a big enough audience, and we'll make our bread that way. Also, technically, I'm pretty sure you get money from YouTube videos, but I'm not sure. I'm not even trying to think about all that. All I care about is that I'm making good content that you guys like. And in this video, I will be going over each of the 16 stories that I'm going to be trying to show to you guys. So this is going to be a long video. Basically, the reason why I'm doing this is because it's like a pitch, right? I'm trying to pitch to you guys to enjoy my story. That's why I'm doing this, cool animation thing and all this. So you guys can get interested in my story, because I feel like when I was a kid, like when I was 14, 15, this is the type of story that I would actually be interested in. Like there's none of those annoying tropes. And I'm not an expert writer, okay? Do not be expecting One Piece level foreshadowing or Gravity Falls level of secrets and stuff. I am just a simple guy, okay? Trying to tell a somewhat simple story, but I want to make it into a community. I want us all to have a fun time with this. No frustration, none of that. I'm trying to build this community around the comic, I want to make comics for a living. Some people want to relax by reading comics. I'll also be putting on tutorials and stuff, But mostly, let's just all have fun here, guys. So, without further ado, I am going to lower my energy a little bit. We're at 7 minutes in the video. If you want to click off, that's A-okay. Just go to the Discord. Tell me, I'll also be leaving some kind of description of each one into the... I'll be leaving a little Word document, a little text about each of the series and their summaries and log lines and stuff. Basically, I'll be making a pitch for each of them. I just made that up now that I'm gonna do that, but it's so you guys can, read this at your leisure. Without further ado, I think I'm just gonna get into it, man. Whew. So the first story is called Dear. Classic. Okay, so we have our main character called Topman, who was trained by the three ghosts. He's being trained by three ghosts. The power system here is soul coins. So essentially, when you're training with a spirit, or when you're really close to another person's spirit, you can learn their valuable technique. And he has... I don't know if I want to reveal everything, but essentially he has a bear spirit teaching him, which is giving him the power of strength. A snake spirit teaching him, which is giving him the power of... I won't say now, because that's the most interesting power. And then he has the power of the rabbit, which makes any food that he eats give him some type of healing ability to full health. Essentially having like a senzu bean. And obviously this has 10 chapters. I really do encourage you guys to go back. After you finish one timeline, you can just go back, do the other timeline, go back and do the other timeline. I might make a little list that you guys can download beforehand to check off okay, I did that timeline, I did that timeline, I did that timeline, I did that timeline. Because it might get a little bit confusing. Honestly, that's also another thing. If anyone has any way to help me in that regard, leave in the comments. I'm always going to be reading the comments. I am always going to be reading the comments. I don't care if I have 22,000 comments. I will read every single comment. I might skim through some, but I will read every single comment. Because you guys are supporting me. Now, it's a little story time here. I did get a comment on one of my TikTok videos saying "cool, bro," and that was really nice. I really appreciate that. Let me shout him out real quick. Let me shout him out. I cannot pronounce this name. I cannot pronounce this name. I am so sorry. I'm going to have Google Translate help me with this name. I hope I'm doing good edits. Let me know in the comments. The all right hair. Okay. It's German. It says...
Der allerrechte Hase. Der allerrechte Hase.
Can you hear that?
Der allerrechte Hase.
I'll put in the edit. But yeah, shout out to that guy. I just left a like on his comment because leave questions for me. Please leave questions.
Motherfucker, you can live at the mall.
That was a little bit Kendrick for you guys. I love the song, all right. But guys, please leave me questions. I will answer them. I promise you. I will answer them. Okay, so now that that's done, I want to talk about dear. So you were trained by your 3 ghostly teachers in order so you can save your grandfather from his illness. Now you might be like, oh, he has an illness? He got cursed with tree powers. So he's basically attached to a tree. Well, he is the tree. His body is the tree. He was cursed by a witch when he was at a very young age. And that eventually led him into being, cursed. And he can't move. And it hurts when he breathes, because of the curse. So, Topman now has to venture out in the world and go save him. And that's basically the plot of Volume 1. He has to leave his grandfather, who doesn't want him to leave. Next, hip-hop. So, I one more thing. We're at 12 minutes. I'm so sorry, guys. One more thing. I did say you guys can leave at 7 minutes. And I'll put timestamps and shit. I'll try and edit it down as well. But, this was compared to, like, Demon Slayer. So, if you want to compare it to that, these stories are kind of like Demon Slayer. I haven't seen Demon Slayer, but if you like Demon Slayer, you might like my comic, okay? Anyway, the next one we're going to talk about is Dear Hip Hop. Okay, so this version of Topman is a more cockier version of Topman. He was dropped off by this martial arts group, which is kind of like a cult and very capitalistic. Not capitalistic. It's more just authoritarian. And they don't want Topman to leave the world. They don't want him to, go and find his grandfather. Because in this timeline, instead of his grandfather being sick and weak and Topman wants to help him, it's more along the lines that this time Topman's grandfather is a villain. Because he's hurting the world. He needs to kill his own grandfather. Now, I won't reveal the reasons to why he needs to kill his own grandfather. But he needs to kill his own grandfather in this timeline. Which is sad, man. It's sad. But it's just what has to happen. So, yeah, in this timeline, Topman's grandfather has to go. He has to die. So, in order for that to truly transpire, or the bagar burp, I burped. And I cut it for you guys. Anyway, so that, so that can happen and he can kill his grandfather, he needs to leave the cult. Everyone around the world hates him because he is the grandfather of the person who is trying to destroy the world. So, essentially, Topman in this timeline is seen as the son of the devil, basically. So, this time, Topman has to leave this very secret martial arts school that he's been training under for years. It's very shady as well. Next, we're going to talk about Topman. We're going to talk about Dear Blues. Now, Blues is the version of Topman, which is a coal miner. So, he used to have this best friend, and they were, like, chilling. It's based off, the relationship between Mordecai and Rigby. But in this timeline, Topman's best friend actually betrays him so he can become one of the presidents of the coal mines. It was Topman's hard work which got him to that position, but he took credit for it. And now Topman has been having these visions, these dreams of people walking on the outside, walking on glass. And it's his grandfather trying to communicate to him telepathically, essentially saying, hey Topman, you want to come join me here? I see you don't have much else down there since your best friend left you. And the grandfather left when Topman was like a wee lad, and he's been homeless with his best friend ever since. But now that his best friend is like gone, now he has no reason to stay. There's a lot more here, but I'm not sure if they're going to be spoilers or not. I do want to spoil the story slightly for you guys. So essentially, there is an outside world, outside of the world that Topman and the rest of the people know. There's an outside world, and that's where the grandfather is, and that's where he has to get to. However, later, the best friend is trying to get forgiveness from Topman after so many years, but Topman is already ready to escape, and that's when the best friend and Topman have this scuffle. And that's what happens in Dear Blues. It doesn't sound very interesting. It's just because I don't know how much more I want to say about this story, because there's a lot going on here which I think might be spoilers. I'll make it into another video. In fact, no, I should have made these all their own individual videos. Okay.